Oh, my dear brothers and sisters, love is a mighty thing. It has the power to lift us, to heal us, to make us feel like we were made to shine. It can be the sweetest song our hearts ever hear, a melody so pure that it makes the world seem softer, brighter, full of promise. But love, real love, is more than just a feeling. It is more than butterflies in the stomach, more than whispered words in the dark. Love is meant to be a shelter, a safe place, a blessing that reflects the very heart of God. But oh, how often do we mistake something else for love? How often do we chase after the shadow of love, hoping it will give us warmth, only to find ourselves standing in the cold? There are times when we hold on to something, thinking it is love, but deep down, there's a voice inside us, soft, quiet, steady, saying, this is not it, this is not love. Love should not make you small. Love should not make you question your worth. Love should not leave you feeling alone, even when you are standing right beside the person you gave your heart to. Love is not meant to break you. It is not meant to steal your joy, to silence your voice, to leave you crying in the dark, wondering if you are too much or not enough. When God created love, He created something beautiful, something sacred. He did not make love to be a weight that crushes, but a light that lifts. He did not design love to be a battle, a fight to be seen, to be heard, to be valued. No, love is a gift, a divine treasure. And if it does not bring peace, if it does not bring joy, if it does not make your spirit rise instead of fall, then my dear, it is not love. The world will try to tell you otherwise. It will tell you that love is struggle, that love is pain, that love is holding on even when your heart is breaking. But listen to me now, love is not suffering. Love does not ask you to beg. Love does not ask you to stay where your soul is slowly fading. And if you have ever found yourself asking, is this what love is supposed to be? Then maybe, just maybe, you already know the answer. Maybe your heart has been trying to tell you all along. Maybe God has been whispering in the silence, nudging you, urging you to see, to listen, to believe that He has more for you. Because love, true love, is not meant to leave you empty. It is meant to fill you, to strengthen you, to remind you that you are worthy, that you are cherished, that you are deeply, wholly, unshakably loved, that life is a journey, and oh, how powerful the hands that hold us along the way. The people we walk with, the ones we love, they shape us, they mold us, they leave their fingerprints on our hearts. A relationship is not just two people standing side by side. It is two souls intertwining, two spirits pressing against each other, leaving marks that cannot. And because love has that kind of power, we must be careful, we must be wise, we must be sure that the love we choose is a love that lifts, not a love that leaves us heavy with doubt and sorrow. When you give your heart to someone, you do not just give them your time, your touch, your laughter. You give them your spirit. You open the door to your dreams, your fears, your hopes, your wounds. And oh, how dangerous it is to give those sacred things to the wrong hands. Because love, when it is right, will build you. It will make you stand taller, breathe deeper, smile wider. But love, when it is wrong, will take more than it gives. It will shrink you, make you question the light inside you, make you wonder if you are even worthy of the kind of love that does not hurt. Some of us have been in that place, haven't we? That place where love feels more like a weight than a gift. That place where we try, pouring all we have into something that only drains us dry. That place where we silence our pain, where we smile when we want to cry, where we stay even when every part of us is screaming to go. And why? Because we have been told that love is sacrifice. We have been told that love means holding on no matter how much it hurts. But let me tell you something. Love does not require you to lose yourself. Love does not demand that you disappear just to make someone else comfortable. The Bible tells us that love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. Love does not dishonor, it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongs. Love rejoices with the truth. Love protects. Love trusts. Love hopes. Love perseveres. And if what you are holding on to does not look like that, if what you are calling love feels like pain, like fear, like walking on eggshells, then maybe it is time to ask yourself if it is love at all. Because love, real love, does not make you beg. It does not make you question your worth. It does not make you shrink yourself just to fit into someone else's life. No, my dear, love expands you. It lifts you. It strengthens you. And if a relationship is doing the opposite, if it is dimming your light instead of helping you shine, then that is not love. It is something else entirely. Oh, my dear brothers and sisters, love is a mighty thing. It can lift you so high your feet forget the ground, or it can press you down until you wonder if you were ever meant to fly at all. We were made for love, not just any love, but a love that nourishes, a love that strengthens, a love that mirrors the kindness and wisdom of the one who made us. But oh, how often do we find ourselves grasping at something that looks like love, feels like love, but breaks us down instead of building us up? You see, the heart is a tender thing, but it is not foolish. It knows when. It whispers in the quiet, in the stillness, in the moments between tears. It asks, is this love? Is this what God has for me? And the good book, it does not leave us wondering. It does not let us wander lost. It gives us signs, clear as the morning sun, that tell us when we are walking in love or stumbling in something far from it. So tonight, today, in this very moment, we will open our eyes, open our hearts, eyes, and listen not just to words, but to truth. 7 ways to know if the love you hold is the love God intended for you. Are you ready? Are you willing? Then let's begin. Deep in every heart there is a longing to be seen, to be heard, to be held in a way that makes the soul exhale, makes the spirit feel at home. We were not created to walk this world alone. We were made to love and be loved. And oh, how the heart yearns for a love that is true, a love that does not waver, a love that stands firm even when the winds of life try to shake. But in that longing, in that deep desire to be cherished, sometimes we settle for something less than what our souls were created for. Sometimes we take what is given instead of waiting for what is right. Sometimes we hold on to hands that do not hold us gently, that do not protect us, that do not honor the sacredness of who we are. And yet, the heart still whispers. It whispers in the quiet moments, in the stillness spaces between the laughter and the tears. It asks, is this love? Is this what I was made for? Oh, my dear, the heart knows. It always knows. It may take time to listen, time to understand, time to gather the courage to face the truth, but the heart does not lie. It speaks in the restless nights, in the tears that fall without warning, in the deep sighs of exhaustion that come from carrying a love that was never meant to be yours. Love is not supposed to be a guessing game. It is not supposed to be a battle where you are constantly fighting just to feel valued, just to feel like you matter. Love does not leave you wondering if you are enough. It does not make you question if you are lovable, if you are worthy, if you are too much or too little. Love settles the heart. Love brings peace. Love reassures, strengthens, and affirms. But when love is wrong, oh, when it is wrong, it shakes the soul in a different way. It unsettles. It confuses. It makes you feel like you are standing on unsteady ground, like any moment everything could fall apart. It leaves you doubting yourself, wondering if you are the problem, if maybe you are expecting too much. But listen to me now. You are not expecting too much. You are simply expecting what love was always meant to be. God did not create love to be uncertain. He did not design it to leave you in constant fear of losing it. Love is not supposed to feel like a question with no answer, a puzzle with missing pieces. No, love is clear. Love is steady. Love is sure. And when you are in the right relationship, your heart does not have to beg for clarity. It does not have to fight to be understood. It simply rests, Knowing that it is right where it belongs, there is a light that never fades, a truth that never wavers, a wisdom that has stood the test of time. It is written, it is spoken, it is breathed into existence by the one who created love itself. And when the word of God is not just ink on a page, it is alive, it is powerful. It is the voice of the Almighty whispering to His children, guiding them, protecting them, leading them into what is right and away from what is wrong. And oh, how desperately we need that guidance, especially when it comes to love. Because love, true, holy, God-given love, is not something we can figure out on our own. The world has its own ideas about it. It paints pictures of passion without patience, of romance without respect, of desire without devotion. It teaches us to chase after feelings, to ignore the warning signs, to hold on to something just because we fear being alone. But God's love is not like that. His love is steady. His love is the foundation upon which all true relationships should be built. And if the love you are holding on to does not align with His word, if it does not reflect the kind of love He has promised, then my dear, something is not right. The Bible speaks of love that is patient, love that is kind, love that does not dishonor, love that is not selfish. It speaks of love that protects, that trusts, that hopes, and if what you are calling love is full of confusion, full of pain, full of moments that make you question your own worth, then the word is already speaking to you. God is already revealing the truth. But oh, how often do we ignore it? How often do we silence that still small voice inside of us? How often do we cling to something that is breaking us because we are afraid to let go? We tell ourselves it will get better. We convince ourselves that if we just love harder, if we just pray longer, if we just hold on tighter, then maybe, just maybe the relationship will become what we need it to be. But God does not ask us to hold on to something He never intended for us. He does not ask us to trade our peace for pain, our joy for suffering, our dignity for a love that does not honor Him. He has given us His word so that we do not have to wonder, so that we do not have to question, so that we do not have to stay lost in something that was never meant for us. His wisdom is a lamp, His truth is a guide, and when we truly listen, when we open our hearts to what He has already spoken, we will see, we will know, we will understand that real love that comes from Him was never meant to leave us broken. That love is meant to lift. It is meant to carry you higher, to breathe life into your spirit, to remind you of the beauty and strength that already lives inside you. Love is not meant to make you feel small. It is not meant to make you shrink yourself, dim your light, silence your voice just to keep the peace. Love should never feel like a battle where you are always the one losing. Oh, but how often do we find ourselves in a place where love feels heavy, where it feels more like a burden than a blessing, where instead of making us better, it leaves us feeling broken. We stay, we fight, we hold on, hoping that if we just try harder, if we just love more, then maybe, just maybe the weight will lift. But love, real love, does not ask you to carry it alone. It does not place all the responsibility on your shoulders while the other person takes and takes, never giving back. Love is meant to be shared, to be poured into each other, to be a light that grows stronger, not a shadow that swallows you whole. There is something inside of you, something bright, something beautiful, something sacred. And love, when it is right, will protect that light, not dim it. Love will see your worth and honor it. Love will celebrate who you are, not make you feel like you have to change just to be accepted. But when love is wrong, when love is not love at all, it will make you question yourself. It will make you wonder if you are too much or not enough. It will make you feel like you have to become someone else just to be loved. But listen to me now. You were never meant to be anything other than who God created you to be. A love that does not uplift you is not love. A love that makes you doubt yourself is not love. A love that forces you to lower your standards, to compromise your values, to lose sight of who you are, That is not love. That is a chain. That is a prison. That is something pretending to be love. But real love would never ask you to break yourself just to make someone else whole. God's love does not pull you down. It does not crush you under the weight of worry, of fear, of insecurity. God's love builds you up. It reminds you that you are precious, that you are worthy, that you are deep. And the love He has for you, the love He wants for you, will reflect that same truth. It will strengthen you. It will encourage you. It will bring you closer to joy, to peace, to the fullness of life He desires for you. And if what you're holding on to is doing the opposite, if it is making you feel less instead of more, then my dear, it is time to open your eyes, because love, real love, will never ask you to fade. It will only help you shine. There comes a time when the heart must be still, when the noise of the world fades, when all the voices around us fall silent. And we are left with only one thing, the truth. My dear, is never hidden. It is never far away. It is always there, waiting for us to see it, waiting for us to listen. But oh, how often do we turn away? How often do we cover our ears because we are afraid of what we might hear? How often do we pretend not to know what deep down we have known all along? The heart is wide. It speaks in the quiet moments. It speaks when you are lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, feeling that ache, that heaviness, that unshakable knowing that something is not right. It speaks when you smile, but it feels forced, when you laugh, but it does not reach your soul, when you hold on, but you do not feel held in return. The heart does not lie, does not deceive. It knows when love is real, and it knows when love is wrong. But knowing the truth and accepting the truth, though, those are two different things. Sometimes we see the signs, but we ignore them. We make excuses. We tell ourselves that things will change, that the good times make up for the bad. That love is supposed to be hard, that maybe we are just expecting too much. But listen to me now. Love is not supposed to feel like a constant battle. It is not supposed to leave you exhausted, drained, questioning yourself at every turn. Love does not ask you to settle for less than what you deserve. And yet, we stay. We stay because we are afraid. Afraid of being alone. Afraid of starting over. Afraid that maybe, just maybe, this is the best we will ever have, but fear is not love. Fear is not a reason to stay in a place that is breaking you. Fear is not a reason to hold on to something God never intended for you. Because let me tell you something. When love is right, fear does not rule your heart. When love is right, there is peace. There is certainty. There is joy. But when love is wrong, there is confusion. There is doubt. There's a feeling you cannot quite put into words, but you know it when you feel it. And that feeling, that deep, quiet whisper inside you, that is not something to ignore. That is not something to push aside. That is God's way of showing you the truth. That is your heart trying to protect you. That is your soul telling you that you were made for more. And so the question is not whether you know the truth. The question is whether you are ready to listen. Whether you are ready to trust that God's plan for your life, for your heart, for your love, is so much greater than what you are afraid to let go of. Oh my dear, there is something powerful about truth. It does not change. It does not grow tired of waiting for you to see it. Truth stands firm, steady, unshaken. It whispers in the quiet. It speaks in the moments when you are all alone with your thoughts. It presses against your heart, waiting, always waiting for you to listen. And when it comes to love, truth is the difference between joy and sorrow, between peace and confusion, between walking in light and stumbling in darkness. Because when you are in the wrong relationship, the signs are there. They have always been there. The little moments that did not feel right. The words that cut instead of healed. The feeling deep in your spirit telling you that this is not what love is supposed to be. But sometimes we do not want to see. We do not want to accept. We do not want to face what the truth is trying to tell us. So we push it aside, we cover it with excuses. We wrap it in hope. telling ourselves that if we just love harder, if we just wait a little longer, if we just become what they need, then maybe, just maybe, things will change. But love is not meant to be a battle where you are always the one fighting. Love is not supposed to leave you feeling empty, questioning your worth, wondering if you are enough. Love does not make you beg for time, for attention, for respect. Love does not leave you feeling alone even when you are standing right beside the person you gave your heart to. God does not give confusion. He does not give pain without purpose. He does not leave us in places where we are unloved, unseen, unheard. If your heart is restless, if spirit feels heavy, if there is a weight in your chest that will not leave, that is not something to silence. That is a message, a sign, a warning. Because love, real, true, holy love, should feel like home. It should feel safe. It should lift you, not break you. It should bring you closer to God, not pull you away. And if what you are holding on to is doing the opposite, if it is making you doubt yourself, making you feel like you have to fight just to be loved, then my dear, you already know the truth. The only question left is, will you listen? Will you trust that the same God who created love has something better for you? Will you believe that you were never meant to settle for something that steals your joy, your peace, your life? You will not have to fight just to be seen. Love, when it is real, will never ask you to prove your worth. It will remind you that you were worthy all along. There is a moment in every journey when the road ahead becomes a moment when the fog lifts, when the weight we have been carrying suddenly feels too heavy to bear any longer. A moment when the truth we have been avoiding, the truth we have been afraid to face, stands right in front of us, waiting for us to decide. And oh my dear, that moment is not meant to break you. It is meant to free you. It is meant to remind you that you were never meant to stay in a place that dims your light, that drains your soul, that makes you forget the beauty of who you are. You were made for more. More than tears cried in silence, more than questions that never get answered, more than a love that leaves you feeling alone even when you are not. Love, when it is real, is a gift that brings peace, not confusion, a gift that brings joy, not sorrow, a gift that strengthens, that uplifts, that reflects the love of God Himself. And if what you are holding on to does not look like that, if it does not feel like that, then maybe, just maybe, it is time to let go. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. Walking away from something that is hurting you does not mean you have failed. No, my dear, it means you have finally chosen yourself. It means you have finally decided that you are worthy of something greater. It means you have opened your heart to the love that God has been waiting to give you all along. But it takes courage. It takes strength to walk away from something familiar, even when it is hurting you. It takes faith to believe that there is more, that there is better, that God's plan for your life does not include suffering disguised as. But oh, when you do, when you finally take that step, when you finally choose peace over pain, when you finally decide that you will no longer settle for a love that does not honor you, something shifts. The chains that held you begin to break. The heaviness that weighed on your heart begins to lift. And for the first time in a long time, you can breathe, because love, true love, does not ask you to suffer. It does not ask you to lose yourself. It does not ask you to stay in a place where your heart is not cherished. Love reminds you of who you are. Love makes you feel safe. Love leads you closer to God, not further away. And that kind of love, the love you were created for, is worth waiting for. So stand tall, lift your head, wipe your tears, and walk forward, not in fear, but in faith. Because the love that is meant for you, the love that is right, the love that will honor you will never ask you to beg for it. It will find you, and when it does, you will know it was worth the wait.